Well, last year was really characterised by being the wettest spring we'd had in about 25 years. Now, rusts on the whole in wheat and barley were widespread, but in general didn't get to be a major epidemic causing major problems. But in saying that, farmers still had to do a lot of management of rust, particularly stripe rust in wheat. And that did create some challenges with the wet season. There was issues with getting onto paddocks, and then in some cases challenges with accessing fungicides for supply. It's pretty green right across Victoria. Now that poses a real threat going into the new season, because that's the way that an epidemic starts. It survives from one season to the next on green plant material, and that will be what's going to infect the new crops. The other thing for Victoria, we also look at what's happening in South Australia. And so the fact that it's also green in South Australia, even if it dries off in Victoria, we will have inoculum blowing in from the west of us as well. So going into the season, I think growers really need to consider rust as an important criteria in their management plans, their variety selection for this season. So it's thinking about the varieties and knowing what varieties, how they react to the different rusts, considering whether upfront controls like seed or fertiliser treatments are necessary, and then planning what fungicides will be required should the season progress the way that we hope it will, in terms of being a favourable season for crop production, but which also means that the rust pressure will be higher. Proactive control is really important for rust. Our experience over the last few years is where farmers are proactive, they have a plan, they apply the fungicides early in the disease epidemic, they get very effective control of rust. Put the fungicides out ahead of that rust epidemic to make sure you keep it under control. Keep the crops clean. It's also important to note that we are dealing with a relatively new strain of leaf rust. So even though our experience in the past has been that, most of our varieties have got good resistance to leaf rust, that's not the case now with this new strain, and that's what we're really seeing building up out there.